So again, we start with, I can see my thoughts. I'm thinking this, or I'm thinking that. I can see my emotions. I'm feeling this, I'm feeling that. And I can sense my body. I see things, hear it aches, it's got urges, appetites. But who am I that can see those things? For there are two different spaces. The awake space is the one that can see all of me. Let's just take a moment and feel for who am I that can see this vessel I run around in. Okay, so once again, a quick review. So we get to review pretty much every week because there's usually a new person, so we got to go back to the basics quickly. In our human experience, we have two aspects. Mindfulness does not sort them as higher and lower or spiritual and physical. There's just two main components we can recognize. The one is our natural self or true self, what we might call our spiritual self, what might be what it says we are made in the image of God. That self is in every living thing, and it has some unique characteristics, so we can identify that aspect of us. It's always at peace. Even if crazy's going on, it's like, all right, let's see where this goes. It's always like seeing beauty. It's fascinated with its experience in creation. It sees with an open curiosity. What is that? Who are you? What's happening for you? That's its nature. And like when we say something beautiful, a flower, a puppy, a child, whatever, and we feel something in our heart and mind, just go out to it. That's its nature, is to be connected with all of creation around it. And the last aspect of that, which we will use a lot in mindfulness, when it goes out, it inherently has a feeling of, I wish you well. So those are the identifiers. So we can learn to find our true self, that aspect of our experience. And then some dudes like Jesus and Lao Tzu and Buddha said, you can learn to live from that space. That would be a really good thing for you if you tried that. So that's where mindfulness heads us, is to learn to live from there. The other aspect we have is I just call the animal self. It's not a put down, it's just a description, but it's the survival program that was instilled in whatever body I got, meant to keep the body as an animal alive. Its first concern is always about survival. So its fundamental outlook is one of suspicion, caution, fear, just a general nervousness about being here in the world. And you just learn, that's its nature. It worries about everything. Somebody comes up and offers you a $10,000 gift and you're like, what do you want? What's it going to cost me? I mean, that's the animal self. So we learn to recognize it. That also includes our emotions. The true self has feelings, but they're different than emotions. Its love is awesome. but it may not feel emotional at all at times. So we learn to see the difference between my emotions and my feelings. The animal self has all kinds of bodily stuff. In it, the emotions, the brain, and the body urges, the endocrine system, are all interwoven and all affect each other. We can't even really sort it into brain, emotions, and body. We just kind of generally categorize things like that. But a bad food will give me a bad mind, which will give me a bad emotions, and vice versa. They all twist together. But we just look at them in those terms we're used to, so we'll work with that. So mindfulness says, mindfulness is one tiny practice. Mindfulness says, oh yes, I remember there's that place of peace in me. Might be nice to go back there again. So the first step is I remember. The second step is beginning to choose. And this is nice to learn. It's a process. For most of us, most of the time. That choice might take a second. It might take 2 years with some old parts of our body program before we can let it go. So yes, I remember I could go to peace. I want to go there. No, I don't. I want to go there. I like being pissed off about it. I want to go there. No, this fear is protecting me. I want to go to peace. So we do that a while. And then the third step is when we finally say, all right, like in AA, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired is where the transformation occurs. All right, finally, yes, I'm going to go to my peace. Now, a cool thing is this natural self, or awareness that can see the animal self, has the ability to transform it. So after I decide I want to go to my peace, I ask it, I pray, help me get there. Because when I'm caught in the animal energies, I can't crawl out of them by myself from the animal level. Einstein says you can't solve a problem at the level of thinking you created it with. So, that last part, a lot of, quote, spiritual teachings miss. Some Buddhists teach it, some miss it. But the point is, I'm turning to something higher powered than my brain and emotions to help me out. And it helps. So that's what mindfulness really is. From that state of awareness, we are present. We see more clearly all the attributes that have been described about mindfulness. But they all arise from getting there. You got to get there first. And if you seek to be present, but you're in a state of anxiety, you're not going to get present by willing to. But if I stop trying to be present and just say, all right, I just want to be at peace with what is, help me get there, I really want to get there, then the higher power, however we define it, kicks in and will change our emotions, our endocrine system, our brain patterns. So again, it's one choice to go to mindfulness. I remember I could be at peace. I choose, yeah, maybe, yeah. I make a final choice. Yes, I want to go to my peace. Help me get there. And this becomes a constant practice. It's sometimes called vigilance. It applies to many of the Christian teachings of vigilance. I'm going to remember there's a more good in here. I'm going to get to there before I think, say, or do anything. So it's a practice. We learn first just to kind of groove through the old mindsets, but it becomes a natural habit after a while. And we probably do it like 1,000 times a day. It can become that quick. once we've got it down. It's like, and we never enter into the whatever energy that before would have drugged me away from peace for weeks, months, you know. It really can become very, very quick. But we have to want that. We have to want to re-identify ourselves as this beautiful being of what some would call light and love. We have to want to shift my sense of, I am that. And I'm riding around in this body that has all these other things. So like, okay, cool. Because that frees me from the past, from guilt, from shame, and from a lot of fear too. But I like always to use the example of Saul on the road to, where was he going? Was it Emmaus or Damascus or somewhere? Anyway, he's going down the road. This guy's a known killer. He's been killing people. Jesus shows up. Hey, dude, what the heck are you doing? What's this all about? Why are you doing it? And kind of takes Paul out for a moment, puts him down. But if you read the story, there's no recrimination. He never says, you shouldn't have been like that, or that was an evil thing. It's just, you can quit doing that and you can do this now instead. And that we need to adopt that when we feel, I know I'm beloved. They delight in me. Oh, we just step back to that place. There's nothing to be solved to get back to our natural self. It's our own guilt or shame that says, oh, I've been horrible, or I've been ignorant, or I've been an asshole, or whatever I've been, that now I'm feeling bad about. From what I've experienced and hundreds of other teachings, Spirit always says, the moment we say, all right, get me back to peace, I'm done with that, it's forgiven in that instant. Just done. Over and done. That is hard for the human mind to accept because we've been beating ourselves and each other up for so long about the past. What I was doing yesterday, oh, gee, I still remember when I was in high school. Boy, was I stupid. You know, it just, well, the animal self records all this because it believes it's protecting us. It's not an enemy. The animal self believes it needs to keep track of every mistake and make us feel bad about it so we won't do it again. That's its primitive level of trying to help us. It's just not a very good system because it's lacking big awareness and love. But when you learn to see our animal self, it's not an enemy. It's just an old thing that needs upgraded. And turning to our awareness, our natural self, it will literally begin to transform us. And again, you know, I like to meld it with Christianity. There's much talk about transformation by the Spirit in Christianity. And that's what it does. It brings us in so we can see an old mind pattern that may be harmful to us or another. And we'll even see where we loved it for a while. Like, no, I thought that was right. I enjoyed doing that. Like Apostle Paul enjoyed being the rabid Pharisee before he became awake. You know, he was very passionate. So we just need to accept we are forgiven instead of praying for it, begging for it, wishing for it, hoping for it. No, I was doing that and don't look so pretty anymore. Go help, please. Can I do something different with that energy? So, it's a very short story, mindfulness, in that sense. learning to apply it to all the things in us is a lifelong story. But it always needs to come back to that first checkpoint. Am I willing to go back to my peace before whatever else it is I want to do with it? I want to be present. Okay, help me get to my peace. I want to be present and write a computer program. Okay, help me get to my peace. And now I write much better. I've done that. It really makes a huge difference. It applies to everything in our life, every second, because we are the life of the source creating and living in its creation. And it's enjoying it and inviting us to enjoy it with it. Them, they. However, Stefan doesn't like it when I use the word it, but that it is the whole vast cosmic creation to me that's far beyond a human identity or gender. So that's my go-to because
You call it God.
And that's what we call God.
Right.
But
You call it it.
so many of us have trouble with the word God because we grew up with a program.
Exactly.
And what I have found more and more as my experience carries me inward is that entity of creation is nothing at all like what I used to call God.
Right.
You know, so that's why I dance around that word when I'm teaching.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, to me that is my God.
Mm-hmm.
And it's very awesome and wonderful and loving. But I don't want to define it because there's 8.2 billion different gods on earth at the current moment. Yeah.
Exactly. Makes
Yeah.
sense.
So, thoughts?
It's always felt to me, and even long into this kind of work on myself, that my experience of God is both cosmic and personal, and that personal feels like an inner embrace.
Mhm.
And I wonder if that was what Jesus felt when he said Abba.
Mhm.
Is that the personal part of the relationship
Mhm.
and not the cosmic part? But it's all one. It's
Yeah,
just
that's kind of how I feel it too. It's like there's somebody, say, behind me and they're wrapping their arms around me, but that behind me extends out into the infinite and contains the whole universe,
yeah,
as well as the arms that are wrapped around me.
yeah,
Yeah, something like that. It's a good way we can image it to keep our little brain and emotions happy.
yeah,
Yeah.
But yeah, it's both.
yeah.
It's,
Mm.
and for me, I play with the idea that the life we're given is actually a stream of that divine life itself. So we literally are a stream of the source having this experience. So of course it loves me because I am part of them. You know, it's not like it's loving something else. So this is where it gets into that funny zone of oneness that you can't go to in words, but you can feel it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel it all the time actually.
Okay. Cool.
But mostly, it takes me a little while to get to that point
Mhm.
by myself usually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
And then I can maintain it, and then I lose it.
but
and then I
it,
get it back.
right, and it's the constant. And that was what I was going to bring as a little topic for the day. We were given this body, and that includes the way its brain works, the way its emotions are configured, the way the body works. That was just given, like we dumped in there. There you go, have a body. we're not responsible for how it has behaved in the past, including dumb stuff I did before I woke up more, because I couldn't know any better then. I just didn't. I didn't see in love. I didn't see in joy. I was frustrated, angry, tense, fearful. It's like we really have to accept, to stay in our peace, that this is being transformed continually. Old patterns of fear or greed or hatred are being dissolved. Emotional eruptions are being pieced out so that when I see the beautiful flower, my emotion of love now comes up, but it's soft and gentle and blessing, and it's not combined with, I'm going to pick it and make it mine. You know, so that's what I mean by it's transforming our animal nature. But it's going to go through cycles, and no matter how much we meditate or pray or desperately say, I want to stay in my peace, it's not going to happen. We're going to be cycled continually through whatever remains in the body experience to continually be transforming. Plus, we came here to have a bodily experience. It's not like something we need to get rid of. But every time we do, if we get caught in it and it pulls us into the I am this body, we lose our connection to the awareness momentarily. And you just learn that's okay too. Because I'm going to remember, I'm going to go back. And in time, I just don't stay out so long and get beat up quite so much before I remember to go back. So it's learning. I wake up in the morning and I'm in a mood. All right, got a mood here today. Let me be at peace with being in a mood all day. I mean, whatever. I wake up and suddenly there's just crazy, irrational fears in my head. What am I going to do next year when, and I go into a panic? All right, here I am panicking. And I may be shaking all day long. It's okay. I'm allowing this up for transformation. Because if I don't, I will squish it back down in the basement. And it'll just sit there waiting till the next time somebody cranks the handle and the jack-in-the-box pops up again. So it's okay to have the cycles, be they long or short, hard or soft. Just learn to say, okay, I see where I am today. Just saying that reminds myself I have awareness here with me in this. And I'm already halfway back home. Just by saying, okay, I'm in a mood, instead of, crap, I'm in a mood again, I'm going to have another unpeaceful day. No, I'm in a mood. I'll just be at peace with being in my mood. And it's amazing how that tiny little switch in our orientation to our animal self actually speeds up the transformation tremendously. As soon as we lose fear of, oh, I'm going to get caught back into that again. No, I feel I'm sliding in it. Let's keep some awareness. And you'll see it goes differently and faster then.
So what happens when somebody comes along and you realize, whoops, it's a person that could trigger me, but since I'm aware of it, I'll be okay. And then you're not.
Mm-hmm. And I kind of like what I just said, you just see it. It's like, all right, you got me again. Another teaching is, in time, it brings us to a point of awareness to what I call the gateway thought. In every decision to enter the body reaction, instead of responding, we react. Like that's what you're talking about. It triggers me and now I'm pulled inside the animal. I've become it and not awareness. There's always a little tiny window, and you will learn to see, do I want to go there or not today? It only lasts a fraction of a second, but you learn to see it. And it's like, no thank you. Until we get to awareness of that gateway thought, we are doomed to repeat the cycles. And it's okay that this planet is here for waking up. That's how it works here. And I hate it when it happens, but yeah, all right, I did it again, damn it. Sorry, there's no shortcut around that. I just keep asking, let me see next time. A little heads up, please. Then it starts to get hilarious. He who has learned to laugh at himself will never cease to be entertained. It's a good little saying to keep. Because now you'll get a glimpse of the gateway thought. It's like, I'm going to get pissed. Yeah, and I go for it anyway. You know, awareness really is growing awareness. Whereas before, as the animal, we thought all this stuff just happened in me, and that's just who I am, and nothing to be done about it. And damn, I got this crappy vehicle, and look at them, they got a good one, you know? No. There's always that gateway thought. We make a choice to go unconscious every time. And that means re-entering a program in our mind or an emotional reaction and letting it control me again. Did that make sense?
Definitely.
So we're looking to learn to recognize our gateway thoughts. I would sum it up as.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I struggle with like, is shame the same thing as like an insecurity? Or is that different?
Shame is, you can see it in Puppy Sita.
Shame?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a program in the animal to become submissive, and like I said about, it keeps track of mistakes. And then if I make the same mistake again, it brings up the feeling of shame to tell me, don't make that mistake. Don't do, see, it's almost this, it's trying to work like awareness can work, but the animal construct lacks the means to transform itself. So it uses shame to suppress itself. So I won't do that again. It's its mechanism. So it just throws it up, and then it's gotten very erratic and out of control. And most of us, the animal self is pretty much insane. It's very inconsistent, it's fragmented. It'll gladly dive into that with no shame, and then somebody says something about us in the distance, and we're like, oh yeah, I feel terrible now. You know, it's not consistent, but if you learn to recognize it, it's like, what's it telling me? Like, I want to do better. And then like Paul on the road, that's what I did do. What can I do better? And then you can let love transform your shame, recognizing it's trying to help. It's just got a shitty feeling way of doing it.
Right.
Remembering when I was a little kid, how often the word shame was used by, you know, my mom and my grandmother both would, if my sister and I did something, well, shame on you for that.
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah,
you ought to feel ashamed. And
yeah.
I mean, the
Right.
word shame was like a daily occurrence.
And all through school.
Yes.
All the days in school,
Yeah.
you know. So,
no wonder we feel it.
right, and what was part of a self-correction in the animal has been inflated to be this horrible energy of shame. Where like, no, if I do recognize I've just been an asshole, a little feeling of being ashamed is appropriate. right, I won't do that anymore. Done. Whereas it's been built into this accumulated energy, and it's like an entity of its own in there in some of us. I'm just like, oh, the shame monsters.
I read from Brene Brown that shame is guilt. It's grievance. It's grievance of your own self being showcased, but people shame you, so you remove that from your true self, and you grieve that part of you. Shame is also envy, for you wish to be that other, exemplify that character, but the environment, the people around you shame you. So you see other people like, oh, I want to be like them, but I can't. I have to suppress this part of me. So shame is a
like
combination.
insecure.
Yes, it's
Yeah.
a combination of grief and envy.
Yeah.
That's what I got.
Insecure. The combination.
It comes out as insecurity because you are hiding and dimming that part of you. And people are controlling you to like, your true authentic self, no,
Right.
you're not allowed.
Yeah, you need to
So
be
you
like.
cry and grieve about that part of yourself, but also you see other people get to do that, and you're like, why can't I have that or be that too?
True.
Very nice, thank you.
Yeah.
Again, like I said, all these emotions weave together. We can generally identify insecurity, shame, grief, but they all are all weaving together. So that's again where I just step back to awareness and say, all right, what am I feeling here? Oh, all of that. Wow, what a mess it is today. Okay, sort me out. And I can't share enough. Once you've tasted the power of your own awareness to sort out this vehicle, it's so incredible.
Yeah, I like how you just said that. Once you taste the power of awareness.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, all
That's a
right,
good-
yeah, I'm a friggin' mess today for no reason at all.
It's almost
What?
addicting.
Oh, yeah, it is.
For me.
It should be. It's the right use of addiction.
Right.
Yeah. Put it all to that.
Yeah.
Cool.
You can almost become even more sensitive. I almost find when you get that taste of awareness. Does that make sense?
There's a fit.
No.
No, it does. But sometimes you have to watch out because it might turn into judgment. If you're too aware,
It's called the phase of self-devastation.
Hmm.
As we
Yeah, I'm
begin to
confused.
grow in awareness and we see everything we've been and done unconsciously, only now we see we did it. There can be periods, phases of just really overwhelming self-demoralizing. And that's where, like Anna just mentioned, we gotta watch from awareness and not go into judgment of ourselves.
Of ourselves and others, probably.
Yeah,
Right. But of ourselves.
when we quit judging ourselves, we do quit judging others.
Mm-hmm.
So if
you
I'm
can see
judging,
they're not aware.
yeah,
Like judge
just
them
like,
based
and
on
you're
their
just free,
chaotic nature.
yeah,
Yeah.
and you're forgiving yourself for having just been in your chaotic nature, so
Right.
you forgive them automatically.
Right. Because you
Yeah.
know what it's like.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can relate to them.
Yeah.
Huh.
And likewise, if I catch myself judging, then I can look back and say, wait, what am I ashamed of? What am I, where am I still judging myself?
Mm-hmm.
Because awareness just sees, it doesn't need to judge. It just, oh, it would be better if that was done differently, but that's what's happening now. I turn within, what do I do right here and now from who and how I am in this? No judgment needed.
Mm-hmm.
And that actually, I believe, is what Jesus called righteous judgment, is where he's seeing from awareness of love. It's like, no, genocide's not nice. No. Locking people up in concentration camps, that's not nice. But before I would get extremely angry about that for
Right.
decades, and it was beating me up. And now I can look with the eyes of love and awareness. No, I won't be any part of helping or condoning or enabling that, but it is what it is. How do I be love interacting with people, talking about it, you know, someone comes up and says, don't you think it's wonderful what Trump is doing for our country? And at most, if anything, I'll just say, I just like to be nice to people. And it just dead ends, the energy.
Yeah.
I'm not confronting them, I'm not engaging them, I just make a statement of my piece, and it usually just ends. There's no more battle or anything, because I'm speaking from my authentic self, my heart, when I say that. To have a battle, you have to meet them on the battleground. If you don't go there, they will cease battling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's tough to.
Yeah, one
Battle
person
people.
can't battle.
Yeah.
It's got to have an opponent.
Yeah.
Even if it's itself, it has to have an opponent.
I was about to say, it's like, oh, well, you can argue with yourself.
You what?
I was about to say, oh no, you can argue with yourself.
Oh, yes, yes. That's another
Trust
thing we
me.
can work on letting go of. Yeah. I'm
I
gonna
agree.
take this off